All right, guys, we're loaded up early. We are headed offshore here. We're going to run to the towers today. We have a slicker in Marathon. Grab your life jackets and hang on, and welcome aboard. Captain Todd with Getting Tight Charters. What do we got in there? Holy shit, what is in there? Oh no, that's the eel. Yep. Watch him. What, we got a green? Or is he a gold? All right, those are all good. Miles to go on the run. Okay, guys, here's the course. Taking off from Marathon, coming under the 7-mile bridge, kind of jog up through the islands east of Big Pine and going. It's a long ways up there. I had to pause, and here's where the boat broke down. We're about 12 miles east of the tower at this point. Okay, I was trying to radio the Coast Guard, and we're way out there. This mid-sized yacht, the Cadelia, heard us radioing. We could see him about maybe 5 miles to our west, and he ran over to assist us. Big shout out to the captain on the Cadelia.
Also, there's 5 passengers on board. They said they have plenty of water, and that they're good to go. They just need to wait for the tow.
Contact anybody, a family member?
We've got a sat phone. We
got the spot deal, the texting deal, but nobody's responded on it.
So the captain of the Cadelia has been right next to us here for probably 15-20 minutes, guys. He radioed the Coast Guard. They're talking to Sea Tow. I'm giving him my information for Sea Tow, so they've got my insurance information or payment information, in this case, insurance information. So he's hanging right with us. The Coast Guard's asking, hey, would you please stand by with these guys? But Cito was 3.5 hours out. And he was on a run back up to Naples. We're telling him, go ahead. We thanked him so much for stopping and just giving us the radio contact. His antennas were a lot taller. So he helped us out a ton. Okay, not a lot to do waiting for Cito for 3.5 hours. Mike was doing a really good job of hooking sharks here for a bit. So we did a little fishing. Okay, guys, TowBoat US is on the scene. He's prepping to get ready to take us back. Okay, guys, here we go. Here we go. No fish today. Everybody was pretty happy to see the towboat guy. I'm just going to say that. We're still on the tow here. We've got a couple more hours left. What happened is the Yamaha main controls for the engines is down here. This thing is non-operable. The starboard engine will start and run, but have no steering. So you can't steer the boat. It would just continue to do left circles.
You're going to want to know either way.
So we've got a couple, estimated time arrival about 3 hours. About 3 hours left. TowBoat US out of Big Pine is going to hook up with TowBoat Marathon because he knows the canal better. We just traded drivers here. We have the Marathon driver, so he's on the tow. Got a couple 3 hours left. So we're looking down here. This is a 7-mile bridge as we're on our way back. We've got a couple miles left.
We'll be able to pull some. Lengthen it out.
Okay, we're just pulling up to my dock, guys. The TowBoat US guy is phenomenal at getting you into position. We've got no steering. I can motor with one engine, but it doesn't do you any good when you can't turn it. So he's got us positioned. That's my lift up there right in front of the boat. He's going to give us a little bump over so we can grab the dock. And we're basically back on the dock right here. It was a long day. Very thankful for that gentleman there getting us back in safely. So we're making our run. It's about 60 miles to the first tower.
we get 12 miles from the tower and the boat shuts down. We're going through everything on the boat. I lost power on the port side engine. I've got no steering. I've got no trim tabs. The starboard motor will start up, but you can't steer the boat without trim tabs or steering. So as we're going through everything on the boat, I'm trying to radio the Coast Guard. We're 48 miles offshore. So a couple things I'm going to recommend if you guys are offshore guys and you're out fishing that we've got on the boat that's very important. First of all, this is called a Garmin InReach. It's a Mini 2. There's an app on your cell phone, ties into this, and you can text contacts from your cell phone through this. I've got a minimum plan on it. Basically, it's for emergency only. It's got a SOS button. You flip the side up here and hit the SOS button. You actually have to manually flip this up to hit it. But that's a Garmin InReach 2. It's a satellite texting device, and it works off an app with your phone. In addition to the radio on the boat, I carry an extra handheld. As we're sitting on the boat, we're trying to figure out what's wrong. We got 5 of us digging around, going through the electronics, trying to figure out, did we lose the battery? Did this happen? Did that happen? We're looking for everything, and we couldn't find it. As I was trying to radio the Coast Guard, I did not have the InReach at that point in time. Captain Todd out of Big Pine had his Garmin InReach. If you don't have sea tow, I highly would recommend getting it. The cost of the tow to get towed in 48 miles was substantial, but my sea tow covered it. So anyway, we're broke down, couldn't figure it out. Sea tow took about 3.5 hours to get out to get us, and it was probably a 7-hour tow back. Anyway, I'll show you guys what went wrong on the boat. We figured it out afterwards, after we got back. Actually, my mechanic figured it out, but I'll show you what's happened. Here's the Falcon. She's up on the roost. On all the vessels, when they build the boat, the bottom of the boat and the top of the boat get put together afterwards. So a lot of the stuff when they're building the boat gets put in the boat prior to putting the top on and sandwiching the hull and the deck together. So as you're looking at electronics on the boat, I'm going to crawl down into the head here. As you're looking at electronics, okay, this comes off just a little to get to your Garmin's. All your switches are here. You can see they're freshly coated with a little bit of corrosion X. I do that frequently. So then we got main switches here, right? This is where you really need to take a half an hour to an hour to figure out, what do I have on my boat? Because it's not fun to do it when you're offshore, when you're stuck. So inside this boat, I'll leave my glasses off. Inside the boat, as you look in here, you get into the compartment. I don't know what we can see. We've got stuff everywhere. Switches. You know, we've got a lot of switches, connections for the battery, each side. We've got big fuse breakers right down here in front of you. There's a big fuse breaker. There's more up here as well. Initially, I don't know if most of us take the time to look at that, but that's something you actually should do. So we didn't know. We did get in here. We checked all this stuff, checked the batteries, checked all the fuses down there, nothing. Again, zero power. The Yamaha head unit had no power on it as well. The head unit here was black. All these switches were black. The starboard would start, but everything else, nothing working. The trim tab's not working. So what my mechanic found, I'll show you a picture, but in the back when they build the boats, they put the engines on. The engine's battery cables must be about 10 feet long. So you can see down here, that's not the original. You can see down here the black and white, or black and red rather. My mechanic replaced it. There was a standard bus bar down there with a hook where the cable would come right on top, and the cable coming from the battery would come on top. They rusted through.
So here are the ends of the cables that were in the back, guys. You can see the round part on the right on each one rusted off or rusted through, and they just came disconnected. Wish I would have known that out there.
So I don't know if they had a bad batch. They must have used copper coated instead of copper ends on them. Anyway, they rusted through, calm out, disc bounced loose 48 miles from the house.
Okay, guys, so 3 things to have on your boat if you do a lot of offshore fishing where you're out of cell range. 1, the Garmin inReach. That is a satellite communicator. You can communicate through your cell phone to the unit and send text. The second item would be an extra radio in case your electronics go down and your main radio doesn't work. Third item you should have on any vessel is an EPIRB. Last case scenario, guys, you pull your EPIRB out, drop it in the water. That's going to send a distress signal to the Coast Guard, and they will come find you. All right, guys, just want to give a big shout out to the captain on the Cordelia. Huge help for us because he stayed with us for 15 minutes to half an hour, radio on the Coast Guard and sea tow.
But thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Smash a like button, and if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button.